So today we are going to be talking with Louis Perry from the Angry Geeks podcast. He is the show is part of the Earplug Network, which DW, who runs the network, is a good friend. And Louis has been. I think I met him once at the last Albany Con, but he has also been joining DW on his daily show. So let me go ahead and bring him in, and we'll start to find out a little bit more about the Angry Geeks. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Chad? How are you? Boy, you're in for it, brother. Boy, I tell you. Ali and Jamie couldn't make it tonight, so you got the head, you got the head geek, you got the champion, you got me. What's going on? How are you?
Surviving.
Surviving. Yeah, you being safe with all this pandemic that's going on and all that.
Oh yeah, I haven't been out of the house. Well, the furthest we went was we saw some family down in Wappinger Falls, but that was a safe, social distancing picnic. So
okay,
and we all wore masks, but other than that, I do make it out of the neighborhood.
Okay. Okay. No, I still got to go to work, man. I'm essential. I'm aerospace DOD, so I still got to go to work. And my wife, she's in the medical field, so she still got to go to work. And it's just crazy, man. It's insane,
I work for the state of New York, and I'm doing my work, from home, and probably will be doing work from home for the foreseeable future.
Wow, it's just insane.
I know. So
crazy.
So tell us a little bit how you got into comics. Do you remember the first one that you read, or the one that got you hooked?
Man, you would have to go. I remember my first exposure to our whole community. I'm gonna have to say goes back to actually George Reeves and Adam West, man. I remember I grew up in Norwalk, Connecticut, and I had an older brother, God rest. He got me into Star Trek, and he brought me into our community. He showed me Adam West, and he showed me Van Williams, and he showed me George Reeves and stuff. And I was just consumed by it. And I remember going to a store with my parents. It was like a 5 and dime, and they had like this little magazine rack, and there was like a Batman and a Superman comic. I'm like, oh, this is a guy that's on TV. And it was like, wow, there are pictures here. And it just blew my mind. And then next thing I know, I see the 67 Spider-Man cartoon. And I'm like, oh, like a little kid, you get excited. I start dancing, and I'm like scoffing all this stuff up. And next thing I knew, my awareness started broadening, because now I'm not only am I bringing in the 67 Spider-Man, but now I'm being introduced to the Filmation Lone Ranger cartoon. I mean, this is prior to the 70s one. I'm talking now. I was born in 68, so I got to see the stuff in 69 and 70. I'm talking the Filmation Justice League, the Filmation Teen Titans, the Filmation Aquaman, Green Lantern. And then on the flip side, you had the Marvel Avengers cartoon, the Marvel Thor cartoon, the Hulk cartoon, the Captain America cartoon, the Submariner, all this on the Marvel Superheroes Hour. I got to see all this. And this is when they took Kirby's original artwork and flashed it across the screen. So I got to watch all this, and I'm like, oh my God. I went back to this store, and comics like 12 cents. And my dad was like, 12 cents for a comic? This is insane. But, I was like finding pennies and just buying them. And I was hooked ever since, and because it became my life. I was just consumed because it's just became me.
So when did you catch the podcasting, bug? Was it?
Dude, I did all this half-ass backwards, man. It was so funny. Ali just recently came back into the fold. The Angry Geeks, it was just bizarre happenings. I started this as a joke about 7 years ago, and I started it with Ali, and it started as a joke. We used to go to the movies. We had this clique. A very good friend of mine was a GM at a movie theater, and we used to see all everything for free before it came out. We used to go to IHOP, International House of Pancakes, and we used to sit there and just order a whole bunch of food, eat the food, then go to the theater and watch whatever film came out, the biggest, newest release a week before it came out, with the keys. Once the keys got activated, I don't know if you're familiar with that. They have to, all the new releases, you had to get keys to open up so they got the keys got activated. We would go out and eat, and we would sit there and argue on what was better way back when. Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. We would just sit there and argue. And this is when YouTube started, and the internet started to become aware to me. So I came up to Ali. I'm like, you know what? You like to draw. I like to draw. Everyone knows. I mean, you can see behind me in the Geek Lair, all my toys. I'm a big kid. And I was like, I think maybe we should do something as a joke for these guys. And just, for our friends, we'll just start it off as a joke and see what happens. And we recorded, one 15-minute episode of just Ali and I arguing, bringing up topics, of making fun of ourselves and what we do every Wednesday, Thursday night before a new release. And next thing I know, it's like, hey, a comic book convention, you guys should do this at a con. And I'm like, nah. And a con, we went to a con and we brought a camera, and I said, let's go interview someone. Let's see what happens. So I did. And next thing I know, a guy comes up to me and goes, why don't you put in for passes next time? You come in and entertain people. I'm like, no, nobody wants to see that. Well, I was thinking about it, and I did. And then all of a sudden, this snowball effect started going. And then the podcast then became like a variety show. And then next thing I know, this public access television station came up to me and like, we want to put you guys on TV. I was like, I felt like Michael Richards in that UHF movie with Weird Al Yankovic. I was like, okay. And next thing I know, we're on 5 different stations. And then DW comes up, Herb from Earplug, which was Fanboys Inc. at the time. He comes up to me and goes, dude, you guys are magic in a bottle. I'm going to put you guys on the network, rip the audio. So I went from like this little rinky dink thing to all this stuff. And now we're like performing the variety show live at the conventions. We're moderating panels. It's just, to me, it's bizarre. I never in a million gazillion years would have thought that this would have happened. And it became a second job. That's what I'm not complaining at all. It's just, it's a blessing, and I can't thank anything enough. I mean, I'm sitting here. I work every week. I work with Jack Purcell, best known for working on Batman and Green Arrow from DC Comics, and another podcast. I got 2 podcasts actually. I got a wrestling podcast with Jack Purcell, and it's like I look across the layer, and I got artwork by Joe St. Pierre here. Here you go. Just take it. Just take it. And I got artwork by Ian Chase Nichols, best known for The Tick. It's just crazy that all these people, I'm looking at comics from way back when, and now these people know me by name, and I'm so blessed and fortunate by this that I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. It's so surreal for me, and I met so many close people because of this that I'm just truly blessed, man. It's great. It's fantastic.
So could you kind of explain, like, why? I mean, I think you kind of did, but why do you call yourself the Angry Geeks? I mean, I read on your website, and
Okay, why we call us the Angry Geeks? If you don't know what you're talking about, shut your mouth. You gotta. It's put up or shut up, brother. That's the main thing. If you sit there and
this interview's over.
If you say it happened one, my old co-host, we were sitting, we were waiting to get into a con at one time, and this kid was sitting in front. I'm the biggest Batman fan ever. In my bathroom, I got a Batman shower curtain, and I got this, and I got that. And I'm like, okay, can you name me one Batman villain that was not in a video game or a cartoon or a movie? If you can't do that, then you're not the biggest Batman fan ever. Okay. And you had this other person. We were sitting there. We saw the Man of Steel when the Man of Steel came out. And it was like my third or fourth showing. I can't remember. And this guy in the theater, when Superman, spoiler alert, spoiler, when Superman snaps Zod's neck, this guy says, Superman doesn't kill. I lost all composure. Ali will tell you. I was like, wrong. I was like, man, you should read a comic book. And it was like, there was only like 6-7 people in the theater. But I was like, you got to read a comic book before you say Superman doesn't kill someone.
Right.
All right. I mean, you're talking to a guy that bleeds DC. Fairweather fans just piss me off. And then you also got the other Fairweather fans that just love the Marvel movies. They just, Marvel's the greatest. Okay. Have you ever read a Marvel comic? Have you ever did this or did that? Well, no. Then how can you say that they're great? Exactly. How can you say that this character can beat this character? How can you say that? Well, because shut up, sit down, and read a comic. That's all you got to do. Shut up, sit down, and read a comic. That's where the Angry Geeks come up. Shut up, put up or shut up. That's where it comes from. Read a comic. This right here. This is your source material. This, if you don't got this, then yeah, put up or shut up. It's funny. And another thing is we'll talk about the Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go. I think it's adorable. I think it's fun. When the Teen Titans Go to the movies came out, my stepson Cody and I, my son Cody and I were the only two. This is so funny. We were the only two adults in the Cody's 21. So at the time when the movie came out, I think he was 19, 20, maybe 19, 18. We were the only adult father and son in the theater. All the other ones were like 7, 8-year-old, 9. Where we were the only adult father son, and we were laughing at all the jokes and getting everything. And it was I loved it. I thought it was great. But then there was somebody, I can't remember, could have been at my job, it could have been out in the lobby. They were like, well, I like the original Teen Titans. I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. Really? What original Teen Titans? And another podcast that I absolutely love, the So Wizard podcast. I love those boys. I call them out on this too. They were like, well, yeah, well, the ones that were on the Cartoon Network. And I said, nope, sorry. That wasn't the original Teen Titans. What? Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. And I brought them back to the Filmation Teen Titans with the original lineup. Here you go. And I sent Marcellus, which I love. I love the Soul Wizard guys, man. I have much respect and love for Joey and Marcellus and Aubrey. Can't forget Aubrey. I sent them and said, dude, this is the original ones, man. It's all Angry Geeks is all about educating people. I'm like, this is the original Teen Titans, which is actually based on this lineup. But the original Teen Titans Filmation cartoon did not have Robin in it, just so you know, did not have Robin. For those of you that are interested in it, pretty sure you can find them on YouTube or on any only in the Geek Lair. I'm pretty sure on a DVD set like this, you could probably find it. I got it everywhere, man. I can't. But that's what the Angry Geeks is, man. We're just about the Fairweather fans and educating people. That's about it.
Now, who is? Tell us a little about your co-host who couldn't be with us.
Okay. Let's see. We got that Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan. I tell people I work with Jamie Dolan. I work with Wonder Woman on a weekly basis. Jamie is the premier Wonder Woman cosplayer. She looks like Gal, acts like Gal, could be Gal. She's a hardworking mom. She is my sister from another mister. Just absolutely phenomenal. If you can't find her, go to Facebook, find her on Instagram. Right now, she's working 50 hours plus a week because of the pandemic. She's a GM of a Target store. She's just an incredible person, incredible artist, and I love her to death. She is Wonder Woman personified. You see her at her convention. Make sure you run up and say hi to her. And then we have featuring Ali Montgomery. Ali was the original Angry Geek. He started this with me. We've been friends for well over 20 years. Ali is a former MMA fighter, retired. He's also an artist, and he is a geek at heart, man. He's really good. He's a great creator. And he stepped up because Jamie's been working a lot, so I asked him to come back. He left the show due to some creative differences between him and I, and he graciously came back, stepped up with myself, and been going full throttle ever since. He came back since January, and it's been him and I every week. I God bless for him, man. I can't. I wouldn't be able to pull it off without him. And I'm happy to have him back. It's kind of like the full circle, the whole Eye of the Tiger thing, going back to the beginning and reliving everything. Everyone just welcomed Ali back, and it was great. It's really, really good. If to find Ali, go to Ali Montgomery on Facebook. And don't ask me for his Facebook. It's like his Instagram rather. It's like NIXOO whatever. He's on the Angry Geeks Instagram. Find it. Check out his art. He's a fabulous artist.
So I noticed on your website you have something that you guys call Angry Geek Approved.
Yep. Yep.
Can you discuss that without giving away? I don't know if that's a.
Nope. The Angry Geeks Initiative. This is what we call it. If you have a comic shop, if you have an independent comic book and you want to get it Angry Geeks approved, you want to get it up on the website. If you're a comic shop, we'll go to your comic shop. We'll look at it. You got to think about it as like, say, the aerospace industry or the manufacturing industry that with the ISO 9000 or AS 9100. It's kind of like that. We'll go in there. We'll look at your place. We'll look at your shop. Make sure it's geek approved. If it's kid friendly, adult friendly, geek friendly. If your comics are in order, if it's clean, if it's nice, if it's organized, and we'll put that stamp of approval, boom, right there on your shop. We'll read your book if we like your book. If your art is crisp, if it's edited right, if it's good storytelling, boom, we'll slap that Angry Geeks approved logo right there and we'll help push it. If we like your Kickstarter, we'll be behind your project. We'll help push that. We'll put our Angry Geeks stamp right on top of that. That's what the Angry Geeks approved initiative is. Conventions, as certain ones, of course, all of the ARE conventions are all Angry Geeks approved, not just because we work for them. But a lot of the independent artists, a lot of the independent comic books, they come to us, they send us stuff in the mail, hence the mess I'm in. Hey, can you review this? Can you do this? It's all part of being Angry Geeks approved. It's just a program that I started with a former Team Angry member, and we're just going full steam ahead. 2020 and 2021, we're going to expand this to bring it up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, right there. We're going to be bringing that up, and the Angry Geeks approved initiative. You'll get that stamp right on your wall, right on your door as you walk in.
There you go. It's a So, how did you become involved with the Altered Reality Entertainment group of cons, which are are pretty much in this area?
Luck.
Luck.
Strictly by luck. What had happened was I filled out we did the live show at a few different conventions, and they approached us and said, hey, you want to do the live show here at Rhode Island? I said, sure. And they put us in this really big room. And I'm like, there's no way we're gonna fill this room. Guess what? We filled the room, and I'm like, oh my god, we had a blast. Then they asked us if we would consider moderating a panel. Sure. Okay, you're gonna work with Joey Fatone. I had no idea what to talk to Joey Fatone about. And our style is very, we shoot everything from the cuff. We going to ask a celebrity or an artist or anyone the same questions that someone else has already asked them. We just, go with our gut feeling. That's what we did. And Joey went back and told the con, these guys were the funnest people I've ever worked with. Next thing I know, here comes Comic-Con. You guys are going to do most of the panels. Oh, okay. So we were with Lance Henriksen from Aliens. We were with the guy from Super Troopers. We're with the guy from. So you got me on what you call it? We're from Stargate.
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, so we're just spouting off questions and having fun, and the celebs are coming up, going, "Oh my god, you guys are so fun. You're spontaneous." Again, we had our own panel, packed the room. Mm-hmm. Okay. They approached me. They said, "How would you like to be exclusive with us?" And I said, "Well, let me think about it. There's a lot of things that have to be put on the table. You know, I mean, there's they made an offer and they talked to Jamie and I about it. And this is kind of the demise of the original the second tier of the Angry Geeks with the three of us. And I thought the Angry Geeks was my company. Jamie was helping me out with a lot of the business stuff. I talked to her. I said, "What do you think?" She goes, "Hey, this is your baby. It's always been yours. This is your dream." I liked everything that they had to offer. So I said, yeah. So we do a lot of their panels. We get to pick who we get to work with. We do our live show before the after parties at Rhode Island, Empire State Comic Con and such. And yeah, we just have fun. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be a part of the alternate reality family.
Well, like I said before I brought you in, I think I met you briefly at the Empire State Con, the last one. I think
so
DW, I think DW probably introduced us, or
so we were. The last two Empire State Comic Cons, we were so busy. The last one, I think we were on the celeb stage for a total of 9.5 hours. We did every celebrity panel on Saturday, and there was 2 celebrity panels on Sunday. We did those 2. And Jamie did the cosplay contest herself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were extremely busy at Empire State, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. It was just fantastic. The opportunities that ARE is giving us I'm extremely grateful. I can't thank them enough for letting us be a part of their fantastic family.
So, kind of using that as a segue, where do you see with the current situation and the pandemic and all that, where do you see, comic book conventions going forward?
Well, funny you should say that. ARE is standing behind the Angry Geeks because on June 20th and 21st, we are going to have an online convention called Angry Con. And we are going to hold it online. It's Angry Geeks approved, of course, because we're going to be running it, and it's going to be a little bit different than what you guys have been seeing so far. We've been watching other online conventions, and we noticed some of them have been taped, some of them have been scripted. Ours is going to be totally live, totally unpredictable, just like our show. We are going to have a cosplay contest, and there's going to be a $50 prize. So it's going to be a $50 gift card. We are going to have actual cosplay judges to judge this. The rules will be announced this week on how you're going to win this cosplay contest. We're going to have vendors. Now, we understand that it is hard for someone to want to buy something without picking it up. When you get to a con, you want to pick something up and you want to look at it before you buy it. I understand that. We all understand that. We also know that you want to pick up a comic and you want to look at the edges before you buy a comic. We get that as well, but we're trying to work out a thing where if you want to see a book, that the vendor will show a close up to this book.
Mhm.
We don't want it to be like a bidding auction either. If one person wants to see that book and this is what the book is going for, we don't want this one guy, I'll give you this much. We don't want that to happen. We want this to be done right. And we want to bring the convention to you. So we want
Mhm.
everything to be right. But it's Angry Con. It's going to be June 20th and 21st, Saturday and Sunday, of course. Now, as far as what I see the comic book conventions because of the pandemic, it's rough to say, man. I mean, right now I'm jonesing to go on the hunt. What I mean by that is I want to go out and buy some comics, man. I I I want to go through long boxes. I don't know. Right now we had so many things that were just canceled. Terracon in Rhode Island, one of the ARE shows, canceled. We had Colorado canceled. Stuff that I've been looking forward to. Rhode Island, as of right now, is still on the books. That's all I got to look forward to right now. And we
You can
got
go
plans.
down to Tampa or Atlanta.
Yeah, I could. I could. Not in Angry Geeks capacity. I can go as a civilian. But when I go as a civilian, I don't know what to do. That's the thing. I went to last year. I was hanging out with Earplug Podcast Network and DW. I went to the Hudson Valley comic book convention just as a civilian. I went down there, hang out with the Earplug, and I was totally lost. I went there without Jamie, and I was just hanging at the earplug booth. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have a camera. I didn't know what to do. I was totally lost. So, and it's I went to another convention, Lock City Comic Con. ARE is it's a friendly, as what we call it. And last summer, I walked in the door. ARE had presence there, and their monitor for their celebrity panel didn't show up. So immediately, hey, Lewis, you want to do it? Yes, I'll do it. I jumped right on the stage. ARE said, "Go for it." I was like, "Yes," because again, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. So I love going to a con, but I'm lost without a camera and mic.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I want things to come back to normal like everyone else. It's I don't want to get my hopes up and say, "Oh yeah, I want this." I just I don't know what to say.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, and I don't want to say, "Oh, it'll all blow over," and get my hopes up high and nothing happen.
Right.
I'd rather just be the person that's quiet and let's see where the chips fall. That way.
Yeah.
That's how I'm doing it. I'm just gonna, I believe in the S. I believe in hope, and I don't want to lose it. So I just want to keep it at that. I don't know which way to look.
So, is there a interview that with a anybody that you would absolutely love to do, or jump at the opportunity to do?
Oh, yeah, anybody from the Rocky franchise. Rocky 2 is my all-time favorite movie. Anyone from the Rocky franchise, I would jump on it. Anyone from the Expendables franchise, I would jump on it. Henry Cavill, for sure, I would jump on it. That's as far as celebrity wise.
Mhm.
As far as artist wise, oh, jeez. the one artist that has eluded me, and all for good reason, because we just could not connect, will be Walt Simonson. I have not had a pleasure. We set things up, but scheduling kept getting in the way. So he would be the one person, Walt and Louise both. They would be my coup de grace. They would be the ones. I mean, I've talked to quite a many, and I would say Walt and Louise for artists. They would be the ones that I would, without a shadow of a doubt, I'll be right there.
Well, not to make you jealous or anything, but I was at a small con put together by one of the other podcasts that I listened to, and Walt Simonson was there, and I was at his table when he started doing just free quick sketches, and I got a free quick sketch of the Joker.
Really? That's good
Yes.
for you, man. Good. Walt is one of the reasons why I fell in love with Kirby as a kid, because Kirby's artwork is so simplistic. It was easy, like all kids starting to draw. You copied everything. You see something, you copied what was easy. Kirby stuff was so blocky, so simplistic, it was easy to draw. So I fell in love with Thor because of Kirby, but then I kind of fell off, but it was Simonson who got me to fall in love with Thor all over again. And because his artwork is just phenomenal. And I mean, going from X Factor to Thor, all the way over to Superman, it's just unbelievable, and every con that he was at, his line was so long. And of course, he's a fanboy as well. So he would leave his line to go get books signed by somebody he wants to see. So it's hard to get in contact with him. And we would cross paths and yeah. Okay, we'll set something up. And then he's eating lunch. And of course, you don't want to. That's another thing that makes the Angry Geeks angry is if you're going to try and be like us, not the Angry Geeks, I'm talking Chad, you and I both. Don't interrupt an artist, a talent, or anybody if they're eating or talking to someone. Don't throw a microphone in their face. Don't stand or don't be rude. Wait until exactly. Don't do that. And especially don't go over to one of them and act like you know anything, because that's just going to turn them off. Don't act like you know it all, because it's just going to turn. And if they're busy, let them be. Especially if they're talking to someone, let them be. And every time I walk by, he's busy, and I didn't want to bother him. So yeah, he's like my white whale. He's always missing.
I know it. When I do interviews at New York Comic Con, I always go up to them first, say this is who I am. I'd love to interview you, and if you have some extra time, I'll find time in your schedule to.
That's exactly what we do. Yeah.
And if I may miss an interview or I may get an interview, at least I've made that contact with them.
Yep. Number one rule: always be polite. Because they'll remember it. Always be polite and always be flamboyant, because they'll always remember that. If you make them laugh, they'll always remember you.
So now that comic books have are slowly ramping back up. What were you reading anything during that period where they weren't? Did you go back and reread something, or was there something that you hadn't read before that you said, "Oh, I should read this"?
Okay, right now, what I'm doing with comics is I am not buying anything new. I stopped. I still have to pick some stuff up from my new pull. But I'm stopping from now. I have a theory, okay, and I really don't want to say that theory right now.
Sure,
just because. But from Mike Murray, my comic shop online. I got to go buy my books from Mike. My last couple books, indie books. I love. I'm digging. I got there's a whole bunch of them. The Seance Room, which is really good stuff. From once again, I am, what the hell? Seance Room. Where is it from? Ben Goldsmith is the writer, and it is from, I can't remember. I cannot remember because Bob Sally even works for the same publisher, and I cannot remember. Source Point Press. There you go. And you got Salvagers from Bob Sally, Ogres from Bob Sally. That's some great stuff, man. You want to read some killer stuff? Check that out. Then you also have stuff from Dylan Andrews that is my God. that's escaping me right now as well. Anyway, the independent stuff, that's where it's at. That's what people got to start reading today, is because that's new stories. You know, the new stories, new characters, that's what you need to be reading. It's only because you can only do so much with Batman. You can only do so much with Superman. How many times are they going to change each of those characters? You can go out there and read your independent books. Think about it. That's what Netflix is doing right now. They're getting all these independent books and putting them on television, and that's where your comics are right now. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say your indie books are what you should be reading, and that's what I'm focusing on. I'll focus on some indie books, pick them up at a con. As far as buying comics, I am what you call a pirate. I would go to yard sales, flea markets, and rebuild my collection, or fill up the gaps in my collection of books that I'm missing. That's what I'm doing right now with that. So and what I mean by a pirate is, if I find a key issue and it's at a very low price and it's in good shape, and I'm talking in a pile of comics for a dime or 10 cents, I'm paying a dime or 10 cents for it.
Yeah.
I'm a pirate. I am a pirate, and I'm proud to say it. I am a comic book pirate.
Nothing wrong with that.
The oppressors, Dylan Andrews. I just want to say I'm usually sleeping by now. I wake up at 4:00 in the morning. I'm usually sleeping. So I can't think.
I was wrapping it. We'll wrap up anyway. So where can people find you? I know that you're the guest host on the Daily Show with DW.
I will be on the Daily Show tomorrow with DW. On Fridays, it comes on at 11:30 because I'm out of work at 10:00 in the morning. I will be on the Daily Show tomorrow at 10:30. The Angry Geeks Show is live every Friday night at 7:00. We stream live. Then it gets rebroadcast again on the Earplug Podcast Network. Our guest tomorrow night is the one and only Graham Nolan, and we're going to have Cosplay Ray. Raymond Ramos is a fantastic cosplayer. I can also, the Angry Geeks is also found on public access television stations throughout Western Mass and Northern Connecticut. I can also be found every Monday night on the Faces and Heels podcast with the one and only Jack Purcell, where we talk the best in professional wrestling. On the Angry Geek Show, I am not alone. I am with that Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan, and the one and only Shaft himself, Ali Montgomery. And we can be found on Instagram, theangrygeekshow.com. Instagram is The Angry Geek Show. Facebook is The Angry Geek Show. Or friend me on Facebook at Lewis Perry.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to include some of those links in the show notes. So,
please. No.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time this evening to talk with us. I know that, like I said,
it's my pleasure.
We've passed at cons, and then kind of what passes as conversation over chat during your time on the radio show with DW.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be trying to eat breakfast, and they'll be like telling me not to breakfast / lunch, and they'll be telling me not to eat. But yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us, and have a good evening, pleasure. And stay healthy and stay safe.
You too, Chad. And again, bro, it's my pleasure. Thank you, and I'll be back anytime. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.